MotorWeek 89, television's automotive magazine, with your host, John Davis.
Hello and welcome again to MotorWeek 89. We're glad to have you with us. We've been keeping you up to date on developments on the minivan front for a long while now, and for good reason. More and more people are turning to them for family transportation. Because of that, yet another manufacturer has gotten in on the act, Mazda. Their minivan is called the MPV, for multi-purpose vehicle, and that's exactly what it is. But we've seen that some minivans have different multi-purposes than others. Some are like trucks, others are more like cars. So where does the Mazda MPV fit in, and how does it compare to the proven competition? Earlier this year, we visited Mazda's California Design Center and got our first look at this new MPV. Our early sighting was not a scheduled one, and when we asked our host to tell us more about this new minivan, they replied, "What van?" But the MPV is a secret that could not be kept. For some minivan buyers, the MPV may be the rear-drive alternative they were waiting for. It is difficult to talk about the MPV without a comparison to Chrysler's Caravan and Voyager, our long-running favorite minivans. To the outside, the MPV is slightly wider, shorter in length, and taller than Chrysler's short-wheelbase Caravan or Voyager. But it doesn't have Chrysler's front-wheel drive or sliding side door. The MPV can tow over twice as much as the Chrysler. Like the Chryslers, the MPV is more car-like than truck-like. A low floor means there's no climb necessary to get inside, a problem with other rear-drive minivans. Once you're there, there's plenty of cloth and carpet and light colors to keep you cozy. A few of our group complained that there are too many different textures of plastic here. However, all agreed that the front seats are comfortable and they have fold-down armrests. Shoulder and elbow room are far better than any other Japanese van. There's plenty of adjustment, and coupled with an adjustable steering wheel, accommodations are quite good. Unlike most other Japanese vans, the MPV is straightforward, with the exception of the automatic shift lever. It's unusually large and bulky looking and blocks the view of some radio controls. You get a floor shift, of course, with the 5-speed manual. Heat controls are of the rotary variety, and airflow controls are well marked and easy to figure out. While our test van didn't have it, a compact disc player is optional for the AM/FM cassette stereo. And wouldn't you know it, the storage bin below is the perfect size for transporting CDs. However, except for a pocket for the owner's manual, there's little other front storage room. Walking through the front seats to the rear is easy, and there's room for 5 adults back there. 3-point seatbelts are supplied for outboard passengers in both rear seats. The seats themselves are a bit thin and smallish for larger adults, but there's an optional rear air conditioner to make sure everybody in the MPV stays cool. Getting back out can mean a swish of the hips to clear the middle seats, but overall passenger accommodations are what we call very good. Most passengers will be getting in through the left rear side door, and this is the MPV's greatest oddity. As we noted earlier, the door doesn't slide like most van doors. This design will eliminate the rattles and other problems that plague sliding doors. But the swing-out design is not as good for tight parking lots or busy streets. The middle seat sits in a floor well and can be removed. Both rear seats can be folded down to make a bed, or at least something resembling a bed. If you'd rather, the optional second rear seat can be folded down or forward to give you plenty of luggage room for the 4 remaining occupants. But it is not meant to be easily removed. So the MPV is as car-like as the Chryslers, but there is a big difference in the MPV's V6 drivetrain. The engine's mounted in the north-south position, so it can power the rear wheels. It is also the only rear-drive van with engine accessibility that matches and exceeds most cars. The basic engine is a 2.6-liter 4-cylinder, but more than 3/4 of the MPV production will have this 3-liter V6. With fuel injection and 3 valves per cylinder, it makes 150 horsepower and 165 pound-feet of torque. With rear drive, the big engine, and a trailer towing package, the MPV will tow 4,300 pounds. When unburdened by such loads, and with the transmission shift points conforming to the power mode, the MPV will run from 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. The quarter mile takes 17.3 seconds at 79 miles per hour. Both are very good figures. Handling performance is above the average for typical family sedans. It's quite stable and doesn't feel top-heavy. Yet the soft springs allow a lot of body roll that is frankly more noticeable outside than from behind the wheel. On real roads, the ride is smooth and very quiet. Sound level reading at 55 is only 66 decibels. The soft springs do allow for some slight side-to-side jostling in corners, but you quickly become accustomed to it. However, the MPV is less sensitive to side drafts from passing big rigs than other small vans. The MPV also feels very solid and sturdy even over harsh bumps. In parking lots, we appreciated its rather short 36-foot turning circle. Back on the track, the brakes, typical front disc, rear drums, produce typical performance. Stops from 60 miles per hour average 136 feet. There is only a very slight tendency for premature rear wheel lockup, and the pedal is easy to modulate. Nosedive is moderate, and we judged all stops as straight and stable. Fuel economy is also typical, with EPA ratings of 17 city and 22 highway for this V6 automatic. On our economy loop drive in this very new MPV, it managed only 18. And driving, or that is the car-like ease of driving, begins our long list of hits. The highway ride is very smooth and stable in crosswinds. There are fine accommodations for passengers and cargo, and MPV construction feels sturdy. Engine performance is excellent, as is towing ability. Maneuverability is above average for family cars. Misses are more minor and include the oversized transmission shift lever, lack of interior storage nooks, and a rearmost seat that can't be easily removed. We'll reserve final judgment on mileage, the uneven floor, and lack of front drive traction for a while. You see, we like the MPV so much that we've asked Mazda to let us keep this one for a year-long test. It should be a good year for the Mazda MPV. With only 30,000 units to sell, they should go quickly, even with a base price of $14,000 for the 5-passenger model and our 7-passenger van's test price of nearly $19,000. But if you really must have front-wheel traction, take note that a 4-wheel drive MPV will debut next spring. The Mazda MPV is a careful effort to carve a minivan niche for Mazda. It was developed in America for American family needs. There won't be enough MPVs to put much of a dent in American brand minivan sales. But when asked about Mazda's MPV, potential customers won't reply, "What van?" for very long.